Good morning. Today is dump day, so I'm going to be preparing, organizing, and getting ready to do the dump run this afternoon. First, I'm going to start with some garbage that's on my back porch from things that we just bought and built in the house, like furniture, a bookcase, a bed frame, things like that for my son and his girlfriend. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing, and we'll continue through the process as I go along through the yard. The first thing I have here is a box of trash. Something came out of this for my son. I don't remember what it was. But you have your cardboard, you have plastic wrap, you have styrofoam. None of this can be put in my dump. They won't allow it. They consider this household trash. They don't accept cardboard, and they don't accept anything that they consider household trash that I can put on my curb in my own garbage can that my garbage company comes out and picks up once a week. Now that I have the cardboard and styrofoam separated, I took the styrofoam and put it in a garbage bag. The cardboard I will dispose of later once I have a chance to cut it all up and knock it down. So I just kind of take a look around the yard, make sure there's nothing else that can go airborne during a storm. We get a lot of wind here in the fall, so I want to make sure that there's nothing else that can float away. And then I'll start on my next section. My next section in the side yard here is under a huge tree that obviously drops its pine needles. It's a big hassle, but the tree itself is beautiful. I can hang my boxing bag up on there. So I keep the tree around. It also provides wonderful shade. This tree was a seedling when I moved in here. Let me just pan around and show you this beast. This tree is now way tall. Goes way up there. It almost touches the rooftop. I just walked into the biggest spider web. It was going across the top of a little shrub area across my sidewalk out the front of my house when I went to get my tools. Ew. I didn't see the spider, and that's what's kind of worrying me. Like, if the nest was that big, how big was this spider? I hope it's not on me anywhere. I tried to double check and shake myself off, but here are some tools I'm going to use for this patch of pine needles. I don't even know yet if these are going to be the best tools. I just realized there's a cat toy on the rake. So I have two different kinds of rakes. I have a snow shovel, because this is back-breaking work. It may not look like a whole lot, but this is heavy stuff. I raked this up before it became like 100 degrees in the shade here over the summer months. So it's been sitting here for a while. It's been sitting, under the elements in the rain. So, oh boy, I just hope there's no snakes in this pile once I start raking it up. But I have some contractor bags I'm going to be putting it in. Our dump has a section for leaves and debris like this that you can put there for free. They don't charge, and once they get a large pile of this stuff, they compost it and then they turn it into mulch, and that's also free to residents. You can go up there and get mulch. The reason I don't get the mulch there, I actually buy my mulch, is because you don't know what you're getting. People dump poison ivy, poison sumac, other poisons, and I don't want to be in the situation where I'm growing poison ivy in my yard from the mulch I got for free, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to go ahead and bag all this up. Another thing, you want to make sure you have water with you. I have this huge container full of ice water, and I also put lemon juice in it. I do have lemon wedges cut up, but for the purpose of coming out here, I just wanted to quickly squirt some lemon juice in there and get it going, because I don't like drinking plain water. I just don't like the taste. I also have some gardening gloves that I'm going to put on and wear. These aren't the best gloves. I don't know what happened to my gloves. I had some nice farm gloves, and those are pricker proof, so the briars or anything sharp don't poke through. What I'm wearing today, something to protect my hands. This coating here gives an extra layer so that when I'm working out here, I'm not going to get, it's not going to go through this, whatever this is, fabric of some sort. It's going to be a protection of, it's kind of like a rubbery layer. Like I said, I don't know how well this shovel is going to work. I'm going to try it. I also have a garbage bag over behind the camera here that's strictly for garbage. So anything I come across that has blown in my yard, plastic, wrappers, anything like that, they go in a different bag, and those go in my household garbage. I have these used bags from previous dump runs. The dump doesn't allow us to just leave the bag full of the yard clippings. You have to dump it out once you get there. This part gets tricky if you're working alone because you have to have a way to hold the bag open. So I kind of just set it up. We had a storm and I came out here to pick up sticks and leaves and debris, and I was out probably a week or two. I had pulled something in my back, and boy, did that hurt. I tried taking a leave, Advil, so I don't want to hurt my back again. So I'm definitely going to be very careful lifting this heavy debris. This bag is just about full. Once I get all the pine needles accumulated in bags, I'm going to start dragging everything to one section. The dump is only open for a few hours a day on a Saturday, so it's good to have all of this prepared and ready and waiting to be put in the back of the truck so that, you know, you can get to the dump more efficiently and that you assure yourself enough time to get everything to the dump that you put together. Bags of pine needles are pretty heavy, so I'm going to drag them because I can't lift these. I don't want to hurt my back lifting pine needles. I also have a bag of trash. And I'll put that in my regular household trash. I see some more debris over there. It looks like a paper plate blew in the yard. I'm going to go pick that up. There's a lot of prickers over here. I'm going to use this stick to get it. For your dump run, getting everything together in one pile saves time when the truck comes to haul everything away. Now something like this, technically, because it's metal, you could probably cash something like this in. I don't know what your junkyard pays for, you know, metal by weight. I don't have a junkyard close to me. It would probably take me a good hour to get to one. So based on that, it wouldn't pay for me to scrap it. But just keep that in mind when you're putting stuff in the dump. You might be able to make some money scrapping metal. Looked around the yard, I found a piece of garbage. I don't know what that is, but I'm picking it up. I'm putting it in my household trash. I found this floaty. So I'm going to put all this in the household. This I can bring to the dump. It's in terrible shape. It's a floaty. Obviously, it's not going to float. So I think they'll take this as a burnable. I hope so, because my garbage is already full for my household garbage, and my garbage company doesn't come out until Tuesday, I believe. At some point in the future, I'll be doing a video of trimming these back because fall is around the corner. So you can see the path I was coming through and the prickers just hovering over it. My cat is crying. He's on the porch and he's mad that I'm out here and he's not. Jax, say hello to everybody. Say hi, Jax. Hi. Hi, Jax. Ooh, he's a little mad. You can see here I have the pile of stuff ready for the dump for when the truck gets here. You know, I don't have access to a truck 24/7, so I have to wait. They'll be here around 1 o'clock. The dump closes around 4. When you have neighbors, be very, very careful of where you store your trash. Just a word of caution, be very careful where you put your garbage. I have had neighbors, because I live in like a semi-shoreline community, that have called the town on me in the past. I would be working outside, putting stuff in a pile for the dump. I was waiting on a truck to come, and this neighbor walked by my house and started yelling at me and telling me she was going to call the town. I just want everybody to be aware of that. Stuff like that actually really happens. I didn't have stuff piled out there for more than 2 hours that day because it was going right to the dump. So the town isn't going to take time out of their busy schedule to care about that. There are blight laws though, so if you have a blight law in your town, try not to leave a trash pile for more than half a day in your community, unless you're in a rural area and nobody cares. I just wanted to point out something else. I have cinder block that I have no use for. It's just been sitting here. Some are dilapidated and falling apart. I used a couple of pieces once to build a fire pit, and then I used them again to build a little staircase to go up to a little area I built for my kids when they turn teenagers, so they'd have a place to sit and hang out. And I have some leftover ones, and I took them to the dump last time, and there's a guard at the beginning of the dump, and they tell you what you can and cannot bring in, and they saw the cinder block and they said, oh no, you can't bring that here. And I said, where am I supposed to bring it? And they said, we don't take cinder block here. You'll have to find a place that disposes of it. Found out that the only places that dispose of them are actual like construction companies that you have to pay. I don't know if it's by pound or by job. I'm not really sure what they charge. I've never really contracted with any. And the other places that take them are other dumps, but you have to pay their annual fee plus a fee to dump them. And I thought about my neighbor, because she has an outbuilding that's built totally from cinder block. And I was like, wow. So if that ever fell down or got destroyed and they needed to take it down, I don't know what somebody would do that has all cinder block that they need to dispose of. That's going to be, that's going to be very costly. I'm right back where we started, and I have my work cut out for me, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.